G'day, friends and fans. I'm the author, David Applegate, author of the book, The Boyhood of Cade, book 1 of the Empire of Elves. Now, you will be wondering, what is Go Clean? How many of you have heard of clean energy, clean water, clean food, clean air, and other movements over the last 75 years, all of whom have failed? Most of them are nothing but protest groups, welfare for well-heeled bored or the bored housewife, the student activist, most of whom treat activism as a toy to be thrown away, or just to launch their political career. And along the way, they abandon their friends, family, co-workers, etc., betray their friends, betray the movement, anything to get ahead. And ultimately, they become what? Look at San Francisco, nice little manicured park, nice little manicured neighborhood, all funded by the taxpayer, spending more tax dollars on than they generate, of course, on themselves, leaving the poor behind. No more. I'm launching Go Clean. I need your help, of course. I hope to raise funds to formalize the group, to formalize chapters, and to organize clean air, clean water, clean food projects around the world, whether they be mine. Forget the Clinton initiative. Forget what have they done? 75 years of failure. That's all they're part of a long history of failure. Failure to materialize projects. 6% of charity funds raised don't go to the people they're raised for. When somebody is affected, they get attacked by the left because it exposes them for what they truly are. Parasites. Millions of dollars every year go so that Greta Thunberg and her friends can travel first class from Sweden to Germany to get involved in protests. They generate more carbon than they'll ever save. I could give you a cut. I'm going to launch a GoFundMe or Indiegogo or something, or combination thereof, to raise money for carbon capture and expose the fake industries along the way that merely seek to exploit taxpayers. I'll be launching the green token or the Go Clean token, not a cryptocurrency, but I'll expose along the way. Open transparency. You'll see the books. Open and transparent. And I promise you, out of that $5, I'm taking $1 for the organization, and you'll see the rest, how it's spent, where it goes. You'll have verification because protesters will be out there looking, filming, looking for every crack, every nook, every cranny. Whether you're Pierre in conservative Canada, Viktor Orban in Hungary, the leader of the Alternative for Germany, or Marie Le Pen, any other populist, any other nationalist, this is your opportunity to take away from the activist, to take away from those who exploit the people, to take away their toys and tools of destruction. Because a clean economy is a functioning economy. A healthy economy is a growing economy. And eventually we will reach maximum growth. There's no doubt. We're actually only within a few decades of achieving peak growth, where society will be well balanced, that people will rise to their level of achievement, and eventually they will, and that the only bottom 20% will be the retirees and students, the elderly, the sick, the disabled, the too young to work, too old to work, studiers, etc. And we can take care of them easily. We'll have a clean, functioning economy, and we'll have global treaties. We'll have lots of things. We have lots to get past, but we are there. We have the technology. For years, I'll give you a bit of background. Not years, for decades, my father tried to get funding for an electric car in Australia. He had a test battery for electric cars. Never materialized. Government promises. Now, I'm not talking about left or right. I'm talking about government itself. I'm talking about industry. So many promises for the last 75 years. My father was approached, and I was like 13, 14 at the time, and he told me, when he had a broken neck and he was in hospital, and he had people coming to him and asked to giving him exercises to open up the Australian desert, to bring clean water, clean food, and clean air to the Indigenous people in Central Australia. Now, I thought, desert, clean air, no. Sandstorms, all sorts of problems, health problems. Plan, so go clean. We actually had a plan for wells, rivers, housing, everything, with existing funding. No one cared. No one came forth. No industry, no movement, no government action. It was as if it never happened. It was like, thanks for your input. Thanks for your input, Apples, they said. But it's an election-losing proposal. People don't want solutions. They want a party to pity. They want to feel better than someone else. And that is an unfortunate reality. But I know there are people out there who don't think like that, who are not exploitive, but productive. Those who want to support the rise of humanity, not the downfall of humanity. Go clean is anti-nihilist. We're not going to sit around and cheer on the end of the world. We will laugh at doomsayers and naysayers, because we have more technology than we know what to do with. We have traveled to the edge of space in vehicles, and yet you still think in horse and cart mentality and looking down, not up. Part of the Go Clean movement. Power tower. I actually had a patent pending on a power tower to bring clean air, clean water, and clean power to people. Now, because my power tower didn't produce as much power as the windmills, they scrapped it. They wouldn't even give me a patent on it. But it cost less to build and generated more power than it consumed to make. They were lightweight. They were made from recycled plastic. They used recycled copper generators, coil generators from Russia, field generators. They were low power, but they generated power. I had a provisional patent on the power tower. No one would fund it. I had patent lawyers saying, "Oh, you got $100,000, love. Oh, would you like $1 million? Give it. How much are you going to give us? Politicians, how much are you going to give us? Give me. Green groups. No, bro. It's windmills, bro. You got to get on board with windmills." And I said, I was at the conference on environmentalism in Sydney. I was sitting there, and the guy beside me was a Japanese physicist. Sorry, he was a physicist in Japan. He used to be from North. Him and his wife came from North Korea. They rose. They hardly spoke English. She was still loyal to North Korea. She only left because her husband. Sorry, it was Melbourne, not Sydney. They were at Melbourne University. They were trying to push hydrogen fuel cells because they stumbled on the idea that you could generate electric currents and separate hydrogen and water, bubbling, and store the power. Now, like all batteries, it takes more power to charge a battery than direct storage. But you can't power cord an electric vehicle. You can't power cord everything. It's like this wireless energy transmission that Tesla and others had. Projects all like that could be funded. The technology's still out there. Now, there are problems, there are issues, and there's going to be a website. That's the first step. What are the problems? What are the issues? What is the technology to overcome? How are we going to get patents when they cost a fortune? Lawyers, we need lawyers, patents. We need medical doctors. We need biologists. We need botanists. We need experts on the carbon cycle, the methane cycle, the hydrocarbon cycle, the ocean cycle. We need people who are not politicized by, we're going with windmills, bro. We're going with solar panels, bro. No. Those are what we call primary energy. Primary energy is fire. I light a fire, I boil water, it turns the windmill, I produce energy. That is primary energy. Solar panel is the same thing. I put a solar panel at a source of light and get a little wee bit of power back. Not even 20%. Sometimes you do hear of panels with 34% conversion, but they have a 20% loss ratio on the battery and transmission. So there's lots of problems to be solved. Go clean. Clean your room. Clean your environment. Don't litter. All those things. It is healthy mind, healthy body. It is a movement of non-politicized solutions, because politicized solutions don't favor the majority, they favor the minority. You think about it. People vote for various reasons, but in a lot of countries they don't vote. A lot of people, the majority of people in democracy don't vote, or they're not voting for the same issues as the other guy. Not everybody who votes left votes for the environment. Not everybody who votes right is voting to piss off the left or make corporations great again. No, some of them just want to keep what they earn. And because some of them used to be on the left, because one of the most popular things around the world is keeping what you earn. Now, my proposal with the green token, $5 token, we work out how much carbon it represents. People buy that, and when we have enough for each project, you'll see how much carbon you offset. We'll be approaching electricity companies, countries, coal producers, etc. All the companies who are ready, some of them planting trees are ready. Some of them we won't be looking to put them out of business. Anybody planting trees, more power to you. But there is so much that isn't being done. And I have ideas for carbon capture. And I can tell you right now, these big centralized carbon capture devices that they're talking about, they cost billions of dollars. They run on electricity. And my father was an engineer. He had a big compressor. Every couple of weeks, he had to start it up and recompress it. Do you think a carbon capture device is going to keep carbon in for 20 or 100 years when modern compressors can't even hold air for a week? Well, some for a month. Sure, there's these big containers that hold gas for months, sometimes years, but they leak. Look at the soil damage done in England. $1.4 billion is going to cost to clean up from gas and oil. There is technologies I know of, and we will be looking for them, putting them out there, trying to create a clean economy. Because no economy can generate false wealth and survive. No economy can generate more than it produces. If you produce 1 million tons of goods a year, you can't produce the equivalent dollar value for 200 tons. Now, of course, I'm asking right now donations, but more will come. I'll produce more videos and tell you how more you can help. But right now, if you'd like to help, links are in the description below with more to come. With project, I will definitely, if somebody says, what would you do with $1 billion? I'd build buildings, clean towers it's clean towers, carbon capture that is decentralized across the world, not focused in a couple of industrial centers. Clean air, whether it be power towers on the roofs of industrial buildings, big tall centers, built into heat stacks, energy capture devices around the world to recapture and repatriate energy linked to solar panels in some cases. Desert reduction programs, water programs. It is whatever we can do to go clean. And if other movements copy, so be it. We can't stop other people from stealing our ideas. That's a reality. But I'm sick and tired of 75 years, looking back over the last 75 years of false promises, seeing people lie about carbon and how the carbon cycle works. I did well in chemistry. I knew all about the carbon cycle and oil and breakdowns and chemical reactions. And I think those basic principles of chemistry can be applied across the board, universally, in multiple countries, in such simple ways, it will drive people insane that nobody's thought of it before. But until I have the documents, the pieces of paper, and the financing, I ain't telling everything. It's a simple reality that many people out there are merely looking to exploit, to create things like the Clinton Global Initiative, to propagate the selling of books, to sell speaking tours like Al Gore, or basically perpetual fundraise for Greta Mansionberger. They are achieving nothing for the environment but generating more carbon. Right now, there is 10,000, I believe, or more energy projects around the world who will never see the light of day because they are not funded by government or industry, because solutions are not what big corporations want. They don't want us to come up with solutions, because they want us giving them the false promise that they'll plant a tree. There's no verification in most of these projects. And shown recently in Canada, when asked, they spent $8 million on a verification project. Oh, sorry, they spent $8 million on a barn with no verification on the project, without any environmental impact studies and all this for what? A barn in the middle of nowhere to monitor a forest, apparently. Forestry. Not a tree planted in 20 years, apparently. And they blame the Conservatives. Now, I blame the people. They knew about these projects, and they knew these promises. It's the same in Brazil. It's the same around the world. Promise after promise. I mean, just think, 1 million people giving $1, I could start an organization. You'd be surprised how expensive stuff is now. Lawyers, legal protections. Heck, it's going to cost millions just to get patents and studies done. Because the problem is, you come up with something like the power tower and people just want, how many billions is it going to make me, bro? Make me a billionaire, bro. Well, I'm sitting there going, there's a lot of things between now and again. They say, nope, not interested. I want now. Who's behind it? Which big name have you got? Have you got a star on board? How many what's your political position? All these things are getting in the way. No, I get it. Nobody's going to give you money and it goes backwards, right? But all these philanthropists out there keep saying we're giving away our wealth, bro. They're not giving it away. They're making more. They're not going clean. Where's the oil traps in San Francisco Harbor? My father was approached about oil traps, but no, not interested, bro. Not interested. How much does it make us, bro? There's not enough oil recaptured to fill a barrel. Never mind never mind the health of San Franciscans by taking the oil out of the ocean, or at least breaking it down faster. Because ultimately, the oceans are not very clean, but we can make them cleaner. We can survive. The oceans have never been clean. You do realize that, right? Animals die in the ocean. They produce methane and carbon, ammonia, that there's the land runoff goes into the water for thousands of years with arsenic and salts, other salts and illuminates in the oceans. My father, we created an ocean skimmer. We had our idea stolen. They actually gave it to somebody. The government took it and gave it to somebody else. The ocean skimmer slowly went through. Water goes up like a big whaler. Water goes up into the whaling, like a converted whaling boat to take water up into it. And instead of killing whales and collecting the baleen, the water would be going in to filters, being filtered, and run off out the behind the boat, skimming across the oceans. It's believed there's 3 of them running in Russia now. We don't know what happened, but that's a reality. Now, I can't back this up because my father has died. And there are politicians out there who are never going to come forward and say, yeah, bro, we were involved. No way. It'd be political suicide. Anybody coming forward and speaking about the projects involving my father. You have to take my word for it, but you can possibly still find out about the provisional patent I had on the power tower. Although I think that was skimmed I think that was actually deleted a few years ago, but may still be out there. Unfortunately, I don't have to rely on a lot of people taking face value, but I could, if we get people to set up organizations and donations and get organizations running, get projects up and running, you'll see. And some of the solutions out there, you'd be surprised and amazed. And they can't challenge on it. Now, basically how the token will work, it's not a cryptocurrency. It's a closed system that will be available through various trading outlets. You buy the tokens, you get your carbon offset certificate that will be certified by various organizations around the world. There's already people trying to set them up for various projects. They'll verify how much estimated carbon that each project would offset, what its projects cost, and they will be on the website. And when the project has enough money in the kitty, you'll see how much goes to the organization, how much goes to the taxes and running of the and the don't forget the big credit card companies. They'll be taking half, up to half of your donations for themselves. They won't like that when they're forced to reveal how much they take and then look at their profits, how much they make. And you go, you cut that fee in half and still make money. That's why so many things don't get done in this world right now. Not because of the little guy, because the big guy doesn't want solutions. He wants to run on getting that 10% for the big guy. Getting it. And in some cases, the big guy's taking 40%. But it costs us money to run these big fraud and all these other things the big credit companies say. Yet you look at their profit lines, you look how much money they pay to investors, you look at how much internal fraud they have, and you go, yeah, yeah, cut your fees, bro. These big credit card companies are keeping us poor, keeping us broke, keeping us divided. Gatekeeping. You want solutions? I'm offering solutions. I am tired of 75 years of failure by people making promises saying, I've got a degree, bro, trust me. Well, so how many people with a degree can you trust now? And I'm giving you a way to trust but verify. Thank you for listening. Please share this video. Get it out there to support the project. Check out my links. Make donations right now. I can only accept donations through PayPal. I can only accept donations up to 2 million tax-free. But that'll get a tax-free organization and will spread and will spread and will spread. And we'll get traders making $5 tokens and sending them out there. And no matter what I believe or what you believe or anybody believes, this is what the market wants. This is capitalism, bro. The market wants carbon trading. I can give it to them. And it will probably be beneficial to many people. And it'll probably help create a cleaner environment. And people will stop blaming carbon dioxide for everything and say, well, wow, It's actually we could, if we just made technology more efficient, where we don't need targets, we just need standards. We don't need these big, expensive UN organizations consuming more than they save in carbon and money. That's why we don't have solutions, because they're in our way, they're in our face, and we can move them out of the way from giving us clean food, clean air, clean water, and a clean living environment. More to come.